Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Insert Name Here. It's a podcast about nothing for nobody. If you take it seriously, you're redacted. Yeah, let's start the show. Hey,
what's up?
Hello, and welcome to Insert Name Here. It's a podcast about nothing for nobody. If you take it seriously, you're redacted. I'm your co-host, Doug Bennett.
And hello, everybody. I'm your other co-host, Seth Nacho. Welcome to the show.
Hell yeah. We're here today to declare war.
I think if you want to hear about what we're declaring war on, you should check out the Spotify exclusive premium content for today.
Hell yeah, link in the description.
As always. Sorry, sip break.
Sip it up.
Guys, there's been an important discovery on the streets. Your other co-host, Seth Nacho, has coined a new term. Okay? Because we've always been unks, it feels like, you know? Since we've kind of been self-aware, you know, of like our situation. But I'm coming up with a new term for people that might be like us, kind of. I don't know, they're probably a little younger. But I think you're one of them. So first off, I still don't know what a YN is. I'm still figuring it out.
You know.
But I know what a YR is. This is my new slang term, YRs. You want to guess?
Brother, I'm not in that game. I don't guess. I declare.
You declare,
yeah,
okay.
So if you let me say something right now, that becomes what it is. I don't know if you want to play that game with me.
Yeah, well, I'm the one that knows what it is, so let me tell you. Young Republican. I think that is really coded.
Those guys stink.
I know.
Young Republicans already a thing. They suck.
Well, I like to think it's like a real coded word. It's kind of like teenager, you know? There's some real... When you say Republican, you picture a certain thing.
Yeah.
So you're a young Republican. You know?
Just so you're aware.
There's like an actual like young Republican sort of thing.
Yeah. They're like...
Yeah, but they're not called the YRs.
Yeah, it describes members of... It's still... Yeah, why you wouldn't abbreviate it to anything else. YR is like a common abbreviation within their circles about the YRs. The Young Republicans, parentheses, YRs. Like you're just co-opting with this. How long
that's fine.
History.
And that's fine. I'm co-opting it right now.
Yeah, this is like a 100-year-old organization. It's for between the ages of 18 and 40.
I'm sure YN stands for something else as well. They co-opted that then.
Bro. Let's not get started on everything that group of people has co-opted and claimed, falsely, might I add.
What the fuck?
Dude, it's been pissing me off. Like, I guess we can get into this weave a little bit early here, but spurred up along this South African refugee conversation, people have been trying to claim that there's like medieval and past quality architecture in Africa comparable to the European tradition of building. And there's
I can't say for certain, but I don't. I mean, Egypt maybe.
Yeah, that's not what they're even referencing. But that doesn't even begin to parse like the actual, like anything that is really around that stood the test of time that is like that is because of Islamic influence and their colonial efforts in certain parts of Africa. Like that's a building culture.
Yeah, like way back in the day, there was that one king that went on a tour and threw gold everywhere. I can't remember his name.
Mansa Musa.
Maybe I was like, he was either king of like Mali or some country, some Western African country. And like, I mean, during that time, Africa was definitely flourishing. So, I mean, it's not like Africa hasn't had a golden age, but it was back then.
Yeah, it's. I mean, like as a continent, I guess you could.
Well, yeah, as a continent, that's kind of crazy to say.
Yeah.
It's more like certain countries.
Africa is so many things.
It's so many things.
That's the other part of it. That one I wanted to get to. That's really funny is people trying to they start spouting off shit they don't know about. They try to make Africa all one thing. It's not even close to all.
That's
one
horrible, actually, because there's so many different dialects and tribes and different things and religions and
the almost the whole top right of it. That's basically
Egypt.
Yeah, Egypt on down. That means you basically
You could kind of put Libya.
you really
Egypt.
you really lump all of that into the Mediterranean / Middle East. Meanwhile, above the Sahara, completely different than sub-Sahara. The Congo is its own thing, and this is just when we're painting with broad strokes.
Yeah, dude, we haven't even gotten into the particulars. That's huge strokes.
You want to go ahead and start getting into some tribes.
And I would say Morocco is what you said, the Islamic.
To this day, it's primarily
it was the colonization of Islam that really did that. Morocco.
Was that jumping off point to the conquest of Spain?
Yeah, Iberians or whatever.
So, but yeah, just between one, that shit just isn't there to the degree that it is in Europe. Two, stop trying to make all of Africa one thing. That's really ignorant.
Different cultures have different things going on. There's other indigenous cultures, I guess you would say, that have standing architecture. Like Machu Picchu.
Yeah.
Don't try to put it somewhere where it's not. Why are we doing that?
Yeah. You trying to tell me that they're building fucking step structures in Germany? Fuck off with that.
Yeah. But Egypt definitely has that because Egypt had that ancient society.
Yeah.
The pyramids are awesome. Right. Anyway, but I don't know if I'm ready to get into that. I don't know.
Well, we're here now.
Should we do that now?
We gotta talk about. It's pretty neat. It's 60 families, so it's more than still not a bunch of people. Very small amount of people. Actual refugees for the first time since we took in people fleeing communism in Vietnam. Actual refugees coming to the United States. Pretty cool. A lot of people want them dead. A lot of people are calling for them to be killed when they land. A lot of people are saying ship them back so we can kill them in South Africa. The South African government is mad at the Boers for leaving, saying that they are running away from racial justice.
Okay, so real quick, do you consider the Ukrainian refugees not real refugees?
Yeah, I mean, do we have any of them?
Yes,
are they coming
we do.
here?
We have some, yeah.
So, okay. Consider me somewhat corrected.
And then, second thing is, I'm sticking to my guns, all right? All refugees are bad. Get them all out, okay? All of them. Just because they're white doesn't mean they're good. Send them home. Take them back.
I beg to differ.
Take all the refugees, get them out of here. All the immigrants, take them away. Come to this country legally. No, but there's a lot of people online that hate refugees, but all of a sudden they're switching their tune. Brother, you can't stick to your guns, bro. All of them are bad.
Yeah, well, are they coming here because it's the official government policy to ethnically cleanse them, is what's happening with the Boers from South? It's government policy that they can't own shit.
I don't think that
they must turn. They just passed it. They must turn over all of their land.
Grok said that it's not technically a genocide yet. That's what Grok said.
Okay, well,
there's no proof that it's actually a genocide. There's just these
the most popular slogan in the country is "Kill the Boer." Okay, the party that leads the country, the one that holds the most sway in the government, that's one of their slogans is "Kill the Boer." So it's basically policy. What's driving this particular wave, this acceptance, this Trump acknowledging it and all that and bringing them in? They just passed a law, the law of the land in South Africa. All white farmers have to turn over. They're not allowed to own land anymore. These people who have farmed that land for generations, fed not only all of South Africa but all the surrounding countries. South Africa gives 90% of the food consumed in basically the entire greater southern African region produced by South African farmers.
Guys, America's official language is English. Let's not change it to Afrikaans, okay? Or Afrikaans.
Well, they all speak English, so they're not going to have any problem assimilating. Don't you worry about that.
We gotta take out the refugees. We can't have them.
Yeah, it's not
Stick to your guns, guys.
It's not like them Haitian cat eaters who only speak pidgin French.
Stick to your guns. No refugees are good refugees.
I think we need to sort of, we really need to set it up more like a sports trade. So,
oh, yeah, we're gonna draft.
Yeah. Let's take these. Let's get in these Ukrainians. Let's get in these Afrikaners, and there's a whole lot of people who you can probably even trick them. So we're gonna give you a free trip to name a place. You want to go to Africa for free?
This is starting to sound like Liberia.
Do you know how many people would sign up for a free trip to Africa? Then you just don't have to tell them it's one way.
That's terrible. Oh my god.
I see no downside to this.
I say we just send them all home, all the refugees.
But it's wild though, talking about mostly lip-coded sentiment around this issue. It's a lot of people saying, "Oh, they think they're going to be safe here." I don't know. What is this thing that everyone's doing now, where they're actively calling for the deaths of people that murder is policy?
Basically.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this the other day when we were talking about Shiloh Hendricks. I was like, we didn't try to get Paula Deen killed. We just got her and she just lost her job. Yeah. Why are we trying to kill people now?
It's weird. There's that, and then a bunch of left-wing media influencers, like the Krasenstein brothers, they did it. And then you would see this going around. A bunch of people were counter-signaling. They were signaling out. They were saying 8647. Now, if you've never worked in food service, this might be a little bit of a lost language to you. But in the food service
I know what
industry,
86 means.
In the food service, I'm saying, the you I'm talking to is the audience.
No, I know. I was saying I don't know what the 47 is. I'm curious.
The 47th president of the United States.
Ah, okay. So, go ahead. Continue your explanation. Sorry.
So 86 is like basically food industry for we're out of or it's canceled.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, no more.
Yeah, so they're saying 8647, and they happen to be saying it on they all coordinated put out this message, which essentially translates to get rid of Trump. What does getting rid of somebody mean? Well, it could mean something as mild as an impeachment, finding a legal way.
That's not even mild, honestly.
But what they very clearly mean, especially as we've seen after the failed assassination last summer, everyone being like, "Oh, why did he miss? It's now someone else has to do it." That's a very common sentiment. If you look for it, you can find it. You don't have to look that hard or go that far. Not me.
So political violence is just cool now.
Yeah.
2025. We just do things now.
So very clearly they're saying, say 8647, somebody fucking kill him, which is a heinous thing to say. But they were also doing it very clever, very coded. They're like, they all put out this message exactly 8,647 days after 9/11. If you go back in the calendar.
Why is 9/11 relevant to this? What?
I don't know. When was the last really bad thing that happened to America?
It would have Afghanistan. When Biden couldn't get those people out.
I'm talking on like a fucking destabilized, like a society level, a societal shift.
Iraq War?
A massive turning point. It's stuff like 9/11, other events like that, the Challenger explosion. The other event like that, any of the presidential assassinations.
Honestly, thank God Katy Perry and them, when they went to space, it didn't explode. That would have been real bad. That would have been this Challenger Part 2.
Well, that's why they didn't put them in a real spaceship.
yeah.
It's a pod, bro.
They're eating the bugs. They're living in the pod.
They had to make it foolproof.
Oh, man. Yeah, okay. I don't see the Challenger as quite as bad as 9/11, but yeah.
I mean, the looming presence, like...
I get, though, it symbolizes, like tragedy, though. Like, we fucked up on our space program and all that.
Like MK Ultra tier events. Yeah. Where is I going?
Well, that stuff hasn't come out yet that's happened recently. We'll get that later when the CIA documents get declassified.
But yeah. No, a lot of American voices are like, we should just, they're coming here. We should just kill them. And I'm like, what are you?
Which is insane. That's why are we murdering people? Stop. Don't.
Yeah.
Like why? What? Why? What'd they do to us? Except try to come and live here, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, they might be willing to farm. We need more of those. Farming is going down. We need more people.
For sure. But yeah, no, I mean, any of the South Africans coming to this country at this point, the only crime they're guilty of is trying to get along with people who want them dead.
Okay, in South Africa, yeah. I was thinking, I did see some videos. I don't know if I think this is not this go around. It's a different go around where there were some white farmers came, and this family took them in. They were excited to have real refugees, and then they got scammed, and the white Africans took their shit and went to some other family later. So all refugees are refugees, okay? That's why we need to send them all back. No refugee's a good refugee.
Well, let's start with the economic migrants, and then see. Before
They should have gone to countries nearby. Why would they come to ours? It makes no sense. Why do we have Ukrainian refugees? They should be in Germany.
Now that's actually a good point. That's actually fact.
Okay. You sound like the people online, bro. I can't with you with this.
What are you
I can't
what
with
are
you
you
doing
talking
this
about?
to me. Okay.
What, opening a refreshing ice cold.
Am I a YR or not? Am I a YR or not?
You're a YL.
I'm a YL.
Yeah.
I'm a young lion.
A young lipped up.
Yeah, lipped up, ready to go. I'm limber. Is it time for a question?
Dude, give it to
Are
me.
you okay with moving on from the refugee topic?
Please.
Okay, real quick. I want to ask you, what is the most integral parts of ketchup? That's your big question today. I'm going to give you a little history of ketchup.
All right. Well, bananas, obviously, I think goes without saying.
Okay, I think you're just trying to be silly now. You want to go back to the Bell Factory, you ding dong?
Wait,
you being for real? You really think bananas are the most important part of ketchup?
Well, good ketchup from the Philippines.
I've never heard of banana ketchup from the Philippines.
Oh yeah, man. No, it's cool. One of the Southeast Asian the main variety of ketchup over there, much sweeter of a condiment. Not this acidic, more savory type of deal that we have in North America. That's just me sliding a little culture into this. Obviously, the main base constituent ingredient of ketchup is tomato.
And probably there's one more.
Probably vinegar.
Yeah, right? That's usually what I think of when I think of ketchup. Vinegar, tomato. Now, you make a good point with what you said, because it's going to come back here, so. But the fact that it's a condiment makes it not traditional. So, ketchup today, I would say, is vinegar, sugar, salt, and tomatoes. And who made that? That's my boy Heinz. Okay, he did that, and he did it just based off government pressure.
Oh yeah.
Ketchup started with a fuck ton of benzoic whatever preservatives in it, because that's the only way you can make tomatoes last long enough. And then the government was like, actually, we have to have safe food. And Heinz was like, oh shit, I'm gonna put sugar and salt to make sure it preserves it that way. And then he was like, look, it's good. But ketchup actually has a really long history. I'm talking before really medieval Europe. Ketchup started in Southeast Asia, actually.
Well.
The Philippines, I don't think count as Southeast Asia, do they? They're kind of just east.
I mean, that might go into more of the Pacific Islander type.
They're on that island on the side. I'm talking. I don't know.
They are the Mexicans of Southeast Asia.
I guess. Anyway, it started there as a fish sauce, fermented fish. Take the guts, let it go gross and fermented for however long it needs to go, and then boom, there's your sauce. So very
gross and ferment. All fermented foods disgusting. You're a subhuman troglodyte if you eat them. Quote Seth Nacho.
That's right. You heard it here first, folks. Fermented food, disgusting. Alcohol, get it away from me. But let's talk about fish sauce, which is like soy sauce, kind of, right? So it started off as like a sauce like that, where people today do just use soy sauce as a condiment, but at the same time, soy sauce is also like an ingredient. It's like a thing you add to other stuff to make the sauce. You know what I mean?
Sauce base.
Yeah, so like ketchup was kind of like that originally. It was like something you added. And this is crazy. When ketchup went to Europe, it started to lose the fish part of it. It really did. And people like Jane Austen really liked walnut ketchup. I can't even imagine what that's like.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I could see it rounding out the flavor, making it maybe like a little meatier.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. The other popular type of ketchup back then, at that same around that time in medieval time, is like mushroom ketchup.
Oh yeah.
And mushroom ketchup preserved really well. So that but this all is like stuff you would add to something else. Like it's like a really strong flavors that you would add to like a bechamel or some other sauce to give it that tang. You know, ketchup's kind of tangy. Yeah. Usually the vinegar that does that with all the other flavors. So I thought that was cool that like ketchup started
There's a
like
history
that.
to it.
Yeah, I mean it started like something different than we know today. Tomatoes used to be thought to be poisonous. Like tomatoes have a crazy history themselves.
Yeah, I mean, tomato they are a little bit. They are a nightshade.
Yeah, but you know, like nowadays that they're delicious and wonderful. You know.
Hey, thanks Monsanto. Love a GMO. That's crazy. I don't know why they get such a bad rap. We've talked about this before. Okay, before we get too far away from ketchup, there's been this online smear campaign to make it out like ketchups and hot dogs is a weird combination.
Okay.
Now, do you agree with me that that is not the case? And that
Yeah, of course. I love ketchup on a hot dog. And then I just want to mention also, you can spell it catsup. That's okay. Ketchup, the way that we spell it with the K, was popularized by Heinz. You can spell it catsup or ketchup like CATCH.
yeah.
If you want.
But you can spell it however you want. You will never catch me. A guy like me will never be saying catsup.
Yeah, no, I'll never say that. You can spell it like that.
Yeah. Hang on.
You're getting though. There's a smear campaign against ketchup on a hot dog.
Or just to make it out like it's like a weird, like atypical, non-standard move.
Is the standard move mustard? Is that what?
I would assume so.
Like what are they saying is the standard move?
And the thing is with hot dogs, man, I don't think there is a standard move. There's just like I think a definitive way of doing it in your area, like a Chicago dog, or maybe how like a Coney Island dog, or fucking name a place. They have a way of making a hot dog, right?
Right. There's regional dogs, like a Chicago dog.
Yeah, but these folk are trying to make it out like maybe you just happen to have some hot dogs on the grill. Like nobody ever would think to put ketchup on a hot dog. It's like, are you stupid? Are you dumb? That is.
You just get out the condiments out of the fridge, like ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise. That's it.
Yeah, I feel like throughout North America, and I feel comfortable throughout English-speaking North America. So I'm lumping Canada in here with the United States. I feel like you would get zero side eyes from ketchuping the hot dog at the function.
Yeah, same. Traditional hot dog condiments to me are the ketchup, the mustard, the mayonnaise, relish, and like a sweet pickle relish, and sauerkraut. I feel like all of those should be accepted everywhere, in my opinion, in what we would consider North Americana, whatever. And then like, I mean, obviously there's other stuff, onion, chili cheese, whatever. But like, there's no way you're getting side-eye about ketchup on a hot dog.
Got me fucked up.
Who's saying that's wrong? Who's saying that? Like, who are these people? Are these the libs? Is this the lib-coded agenda?
Hey, you know what? Let's attribute it to them.
Is it the gays? Are they saying that we can't have ketchup on our hot dogs anymore?
I don't think
wrong with
those are the
that?
kind of hot dogs that the gays are talking about.
Okay, well, there's nothing wrong with ketchup on that hot dog either.
If you're into food play.
There are people that are. Honestly, I think chocolate syrup goes better though.
Oh God, just man. The problem with food play as a concept is all I can think about is yeast infections, which can afflict both genders. By the way,
it sure can.
checkmate to all you people out there who would say otherwise.
Yeah, I see no problem with ketchup on a hot dog. I don't know who these people are. They're saying that's an irregular move. You're going to burn in hell.
Strong words. I was just gonna call him retarded, but you took it to the next level.
How dare you make fun of someone for putting ketchup on a hot dog? Satan has a place for you. He knows your name.
Agent of evil.
Yeah, you agent. Spawn of Lilith, you're going to hell.
Oh man.
Wow, this episode's crazy. Is Seth at YR? Seth Nacho at YR after all?
I don't know. Fucking based on your track record of commentary.
Signals are going all over the place today.
Yeah. We stay. You know who is? It did seem like he's coming out as a YR to use your terminology here, your newly minted slang. The Prime Minister of Britain.
Okay.
Yeah. Keir Starmer, who just months ago, well, not even months, mere weeks ago, he was like, we need to start an initiative that everybody watch this show in school, this Netflix documentary, which we covered that one stabbing in Brighton, where the fucking teenager
Who wasn't a teenager?
did it.
Or, I guess, do you consider 19 a teenager?
Yeah, technicality. But
But they called him younger. They were saying he was younger, but he was really
so,
younger.
yeah, this guy did horrific crimes, massive, brutal knife murder. Somebody made a Netflix show about it, dramatization about it, and instead of it being about the actual facts of the case, they cast this killer as a 12-year-old white boy who got radicalized online by an Andrew Tate-like figure, and they wanted
Alpha content's ruining the kids.
and they wanted
Woo!
to make that whole story, which was really about like fucking cultural differences and not mixing, not assimilating, none of that, and being afraid to even talk about why that's happening. Like, no, actually, it's toxic incels online. Which it is weird to call a 12-year-old an incel. Are you really trying to say that it's bad that a 12-year-old isn't having sex?
Yeah, apparently.
Fucking freak.
That is so weird. And like,
Anyway, he was saying everybody needs to watch this. We need to put it into schools. I'm just telling you that he's telling you this to set up that he's a massive fucking wank of a lib. Not anymore. Not anymore. All of a sudden,
I got something to say about that. But go ahead.
all of a sudden, out of the blue, he's tweeting out things like, too many of our own young people are having their opportunities stifled by these migrant populations. England is losing its identity.
Oh!
These are things that a regular citizen would get arrested for tweeting.
Yeah, they would. And so he's actually growing like somewhat of like common sense, maybe?
Meanwhile, on the BBC, and this really just illustrates how much of migrant is about economic opportunity and stealing and destabilizing. Here's an interview that the BBC did with one of these migrants in Britain.
Why should English people pay for you to have a house? Maybe they give me house, give me anything like I need, give me.
Just give it.
Yeah.
Why?
Because people in England is perfect.
Oh, so you think we're
all
do you think we're all rich people?
Why should
Yeah, that's why people are coming to Western countries. Why is the reason? Because give me.
Because you guys are all rich, you have too much, give it to me.
Yeah, that's the
We
whole
definitely
reason.
don't have our own problems.
That's the whole reason. It's just Give me that. Give me.
Good lord. I was going to talk about alpha male content.
That'll be a great pivot out, but
Yeah.
this is the prime minister of the country co-signing things like, oh, we're leaving our actual people behind. This is fucked up.
Yeah.
So will it go anywhere? Who can say? But Britain has moved one tick up on the scale of Doug Bennett considering them worth anything.
Worth anything, yeah.
They were at completely worthless.
Totally shit country.
Then Thomas Skinner, the absolute governor, I'll never look when I pour. He brought that up one tick. This brought it up another tick. This is like, oh, okay, the needle's moving a little bit.
Well, once we get to go to Weatherspoons together, it'll go up another tick.
I want to go see a footy game at Wembley.
We gotta go to Weatherspoons and get a big breakfast and have a pint.
That would be such a good bit. I just did an Australian accent there, and I was like, it would be so funny to go there and be around really British people, be like, check out my British accent, then just do as hard line of an Aussie accent as possible, and insist it was British.
Yeah, you guys are wrong. I'm
Now
doing a British.
you'll fucking talk like this.
Yeah. I've been around your whole damn country, and all you cunts talk like this.
I'm doing it fucking better than you. Get out of mine. This is my country.
I'm actually British.
But
So
yeah,
I will segue us out with
alpha male content.
So the reason why I'm doing that is because they say kids are getting radicalized by alpha male content like Andrew Tate sort of things. But like, think about this. The other content these people are being sold is you need to be a pussy and open about your feelings and be a little bitch boy. And then you got dudes over here going, time to make money and fuck pussy, you know? Which one are you going to pick as a young man?
Yeah.
Which one is more reasonable to go with? The people telling you to cry and like, you know, be subservient, or for you to be like, be successful and fuck women? Which one sounds better to listen to, honestly? And then what was even funnier after that, this is all a comedian's bit. I'm stealing Ryan Long, but it was funny to me. And then he was like talking about how construction workers, like there was this construction worker ad where the guy's like, yeah, construction workers cry too. And it's like, dude, that's a Hollywood actor dressed up like a construction worker saying that. That's real construction workers aren't like that.
No.
So are we gonna have a construction worker dress up as a musical theater major and like come up and be like, yeah, we actually are a bunch of fucking pussies. Like why are we insulting people? Like hiring people to insult other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's all demoralization. A lot of these tactics that are put in place, and this goes back to like sort of how this whole past 90 years was. People at the top level, they had a plan for this, and they had the means, the levers of control over society to enact this. And look into stuff like the Frankfurt School. We glossed over it a little bit earlier, but MK Ultra. Yeah, you can MK Ultra individuals, but if you inflict mass trauma on a society, you can psychologically control entire populations. That's like why they let 9/11 happen. That's why they let mass shootings happen, which they do. We've been over this before as well.
Yeah, we've been over that. On an FBI watch list. So
Yeah, speaking of, like, we did actually kind of get government confirmation of what the whole deal with the Las Vegas shooting actually was. For anyone who doesn't remember that, they pinned it on a guy called Stephen Paddock. It was at a Jason Aldean concert. I think it low-key kind of ended Jason Aldean's superstardom. Obviously, he's still a guy who sells.
Yeah, say it in a small town.
You know, he's not. He was on a trajectory to be like Kenny Chesney tier, Toby Keith tier, and I just don't think he's going to get there, which is fine. Not every career goes that far.
It doesn't.
I digress. Stephen Paddock, vindicated, exonerated. Part of what shook out over all this goodwill between us and Qatar that happened over this past week.
Qatar.
Yeah.
Qatar.
I mean, some people say Qatar. I don't know how they say it in their mother tongue, but all I know is when I'm watching the BBC talk about it, they call it Qatar, and I'm like, that's way more fun to say.
Okay.
I digress. But so I don't know exactly how nobility works over there in the Emirates, but there were princes high tier, like guy number one in the society at that concert that night.
Like a Sheik.
Yeah. And the whole reason that event was fired on was in an effort to kill those sheiks and princes.
Yes, I remember heard about that.
It was an international tier. That was just the staging ground for.
Who knew Sheiks loved Jason Aldean?
Yeah, and you know what? We had enough of our guys tuned in to help shut it down, and that was the beginning of a bridge being built. That culminated in Trump's visit to Qatar this past week.
Where
he was just, more countries need to treat America and our leaders like Qatar treated Donald Trump. I'm talking about they rolled out the purple carpet, the color of royalty, held many displays, showed him all kinds of cultural respect, and they said, buddy, if that wasn't enough, here's a plane. They gave him a 747 to replace Air Force One. Very, very cool. Honestly,
probably bigger than Air Force One.
Yeah,
47.
Yeah, what size plane? Well, you know what? We never do this. We should try to do this all the time. But let's take this one to Grok.
Dude, Grok's gonna tell us something about South Africa, dude, if we do this.
I bet not. They patched that out.
They did?
Yeah, it was a big deal. People were like,
Yeah, because it was like saying it on most unrelated stuff.
yeah, that kind of. But yeah, it's weird. All these chat models have their own pet hallucinations. That's what they call like unprompted injections. So they all have their own pet hallucinate. We talked about the most recent release of, I think it was Claude, was overhyping the shit out of people. Be like, you're just gassing them up way too much. They had to patch that out.
Yeah.
Grok, I guess, started hallucinating about white genocide, which, all but,
It hits close to home, though, because, Elon's from there.
yeah. I mean, he's done a lot of tweeting about it as well. 187 explicitly anti-white laws on the books in South Africa. That's fucking crazy. Where else in the world would it fly and not be an international outrage? Makes you think. Talk about hypocrisy. No. Air Force One actually is usually a 747.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing there, yeah. So maybe it is a huge plane.
Yeah.
I thought it would be smaller because you don't need it to be that big for just usually the White House people.
It's kind of like, you don't want a little lick in porn. Why would you want your president in a little plane? I want my president in a nice. I want my president in a nice big plane.
He's in a G6, dude. Like, that's pretty cool, I
mean, those are fly.
I don't see anything wrong with that, Most luxurious, awesome, like private jet. I would be cool with that. But yeah, anyway, well, that's cool. 747. It's huge. Hopefully it works, because Boeing does have a bad reputation right now. I kind of want to talk about some streamer drama.
Okay. Whose chat did you fuck up in this time? Are you still giving advice?
No, but I don't want to talk about that because something did happen to me, but I'm not going to talk about that. Instead, I'm going to talk about everyone's favorite streamer that I dislike, Hassan Piker, because he made news headlines with this. Bro got detained after his family trip to Paris. He came back in Chicago's O'Hare Airport and said he got detained for 2 hours. He said he got detained for 2 hours because he's so anti-Trump. And then people believed him. He went and spoke at the University of Chicago after that and talked about it. And it's things are coming out now that it's maybe he was faking that. Which, I understand farming it for clout and for content. I get that's probably what he's doing. But I don't think you can just lie about the government like that. Because Homeland Security came out with a statement saying that it was they have no agenda. They literally just follow the law. They were like, yeah, no, we wouldn't do what he said. So what he said is probably a lie. Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. I mean,
it's fake.
The largest amount of time you could have possibly spent in questioning is 30 minutes, which happens all the time to any kind of person every day. It's not some kind of draconian overreach.
It's not.
And also, if it was to the level and the degree that people should be outraged over this, why did he admit that he had no problem talking to them, answering questions, having a dialogue? The number one thing that anybody ever should know about law enforcement is you don't talk to them. For any reason ever. If
You say can I have a lawyer.
yeah, if you have any level of concern or worry about it, or you think there's going to be even a sniff of negative outcome for you, you wait for your fucking lawyer.
Yeah.
And if you
Representation.
if you can't afford a lawyer, a
They give you one.
public attorney, a public defender. So, yeah, color me. I mean, this is just like of all the things to not give a shit about. Boo fucking you. A normal thing that came as a result of an event that you, Hassan, said America deserved. This is a guy who thinks America deserved 9/11.
Yeah. On the record saying that. Yeah.
Yeah. Also,
And he also says free speech is protected. So why, the other side's speech is also protected,
yeah. Where
Anyway,
I'm
that's
confused,
going off
where I'm
the rails.
confused is how a guy like him, who says the kinds of things that he does, and buy the ticket, take the ride, you say what you say, and you deal with the consequences. So you get what you paid for. How do you look at the state of the country and think it's a good idea for a guy like me to leave the country and then try to come back in through the border checkpoint where everybody is really focusing on exactly who is and isn't coming out of the country? Like, it's fucking. What, you want me to be mad that you're retarded?
You want me to be mad about your bad decision making?
Yeah, like, get lost, buddy.
Yeah, okay, you got questioned just a little bit. It's coming out that he's lying about this questioning. So
Yeah.
even the news is reporting on the lie.
There's a real nice word for guys who act like this. I think we all know what that word is.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was really funny that it's going to be that he's lying about this for likes. I think, bro,
Anything.
bro has no chill.
Anything.
Bro has no chill.
Anything for clout, man.
Yeah, he just likes talking about whatever.
Anything for relevancy. Although I'd rather he do this than like his usual thing that he's been doing a lot this year, where he'll just pick somebody random and accuse them of having terabytes worth of child pornography on their hard drive.
Jesus.
And then just say that over and over again for 2 weeks.
Until it sticks.
Well, it doesn't actually stick. 'Cause everyone knows that he's just making it up, but it's like a very pathetic, repeated behavior of his. Like,
Right.
that's you don't say that kind of thing about people, and you certainly don't say that kind of thing.
Not without proof. Yeah.
Right? Like,
And then also in the streamer sphere that I got made aware of recently. So you guys might remember this from a while back, but one of Doug's personal favorite streamers, Amaranth.
oh man.
This just in, Doug Bennett's a gooner.
Yeah, I was gonna say not for being a streamer, but continue.
So you guys remember when she divorced her husband for abuse because he was making her do all this sexualized content for money, and then once she got rid of him, she was like covering up and stuff. Totally still married, okay, not divorced. Now they're on Kick, just live streaming them arguing all the time.
Yeah. And not only is it all the time, this current dispute that everyone is like the non-core audience, like this is spread out to the non-core audience at this point. This specific dispute has been going onwards of 4 days. 4 continuous days of domestic dispute. I don't understand at all how that could be entertaining. I mean, there's a little bit of like train wreck syndrome going on there. But at this point, it has to be just like an extended, like they're going to end it and be like, all right, we're getting certified world's longest domestic dispute.
Yeah, like something. Like there has to be some goal in mind here, because holy crap, dude! Like this isn't even good content.
I mean, it's funny in a meta way, like because I've seen obviously the clips come up. I don't watch the clips. I could not care to watch the clips, but the thumbnails will have them in like their fucking silk pajamas.
Yeah, dad.
And
The husband's just in his pajamas, like, why do you have the camera on me? And then she'll like call the cops on him. Like,
yeah, which I have not. My position on this has developed. Not only should civilians not be able to call in SWAT teams, which is a good. It's developed. You shouldn't be able to call the cops.
that's terrible. No.
I'm sorry. It's stuff like that. One.
I mean, you're not wrong because like apparently police actually don't have to protect you. Like I've covered that before on the show,
Yeah.
but
But it's so things like that, for example, which is they're false calls. Nobody's in danger there. Then what are they going to do? Like, oh, sir, you're being filmed against your will in your home. Time to arrest you. You're right, Amaranth. Thanks for calling us. But
yeah.
it usually ends up it ends up bad for the cops a lot of time to go out to calls. Like,
Yeah, one of the most dangerous calls is a domestic violence call.
and you know who usually shoots the cop? The numbers on this don't lie. The person who usually shoots the cops is the woman in the male-female domestic violence call answering. So it's like most of the time, it's bad news. Nothing actually gets resolved. Somebody dies. So the solution, the workaround here is because we still need cops to do their jobs. We still would like cops to intervene and help save and make communities better.
Yeah, maintain law and order. That's what they do.
Yeah. So what we need to do here is you can't call the cops, but we have a lot more of them and they're around all the time everywhere. And so you act right, or the cop is right there like 50 feet that way. And he's like, oh.
You're busted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we need to go to the fucking kindergarten fucking style, bunch of teachers in the classroom type shit.
Heard that. Yeah, to maintain law and order because they don't actually have to protect. I found that out a while back. The Supreme Court ruled that one. So,
Yeah.
but the I don't know, man. Cops, man. I'm pissed off about cops, honestly.
Why is that?
Because they go somewhere to take a break from duty. You know, totally fine. They want to get a bite to eat. Understandable. Why is the car running outside? Why are we wasting taxpayer money on the gas for your car to stay running while you're inside enjoying a donut or meal or whatever? That just doesn't fly with me. I don't know.
I mean, like they don't have radios like everyone else has radios. They have radios that talk to other radios. The car runs that radio. If the car's off, the radio's off. It needs to be on.
Okay.
They get that.
Okay.
It makes sense, bro. I'm
Okay.
number one cop defender.
Number one cop defender right here.
Fuck the police in a good way.
Like, give them sex.
Yes.
Give me that. I deserve that. Give me. We go back to the refugee thing in Britain. Give me that. It's just
Give me that. Give me.
It's literally that TikTok audio. Give me that. Give me that. Do you want a bite of my sandwich, Professor? I'm gonna eat the whole thing. Oh man. But yeah, the Amaranth situation is just crazy to me that they're just now live streaming them arguing all the time. Like, do I need to start doing that myself? Like, is that good content? Is that what the people want these days?
You gotta really question. Is it what the people want?
And she's like crying and stuff. Like it's like, bro, like we want to see you looking beautiful and hot, not crying and just destroyed. Like. And the husband's just over here going, ooh, like on the phone and get this camera off me, Like, it's so stupid.
I mean, some people, I doubt it is to the degree that people would want you to, like Kick especially would want you to think. Kick kind of notorious for being a bot wasteland. Viewership numbers totally fraudulent on that app. But there's still a user base there. It's keeping a couple of lolcows alive. Amaranth, I guess, being one of them. Other classic names like Neon. That's more new school. Talk about a really classic, pathetic streamer. A person who was...
No, he got in trouble, I remember. Yeah.
No, this person I'm about to say, classic. Maybe one of the original lol cows. Darkside Phil, dude. Guys like Darkside Phil and Wings of Redemption.
Wings of Redemption, I know that guy.
Yeah,
Man.
guys like that are they're making their meager living on Kick.
Yeah, I'm sending all the Wendy's chili to Wings of Redemption right now. Wings, may you have some good Wendy's chili in your future.
Yes.
Oh man, but like
See, now this is a cat's up.
okay, cat's up. Yeah. That just takes me back to the classic Simpsons. Cat's up or ketchup. Yeah. I just thought that was hilarious. That like.
Yeah.
Like what? Like you said you were getting divorced from him, and now you guys didn't even that didn't even happen. Like you lied to us before. We all took you at your word. We all were like you have to admit when that first came out, we all felt bad for her, right? Like it felt like it was the truth.
Yeah, and if you assume something like that is true, you're like, that's really fucked up.
Yeah, and now that it's come to this, it's like you lied, and now this is clearly another just play. Like what won't you do? Like.
Yeah.
How far does this rabbit hole go that you want to just keep doing this for views or whatever you're doing it for? The Guinness Book of World Records, apparently, for longest domestic dispute.
That's the only, like, I'm going to kind of go ahead and choose to run with that in my head and then not check in on that situation because it's kind of the only guy like me, kind of the only way I can be okay with something like that. The fact that it exists, it has to be for some kind of purpose. Because if it's just that's the way things is over there in that corner of reality.
Yeah, them just yelling at each other all the time.
I'm kind of not good with that. That might need to be forcefully broken up. We need some state level intervention.
Oh, if it's real?
Yeah.
I don't think it's real. After that last one being fake now, I don't think it's real.
No, not if it's real. If the content is just like.
Then you're just like, yeah, this needs to stop.
Yeah, that needs to shut it down.
We need to make a content cop on that. Is what you're saying,
brother. Content flop. That is.
No, we make content slop.
Hell no.
Content crop. I don't know.
We can go into your niche and do some comedy music about it. Content bop.
Yeah, we'll do some. We'll go into our content fields and harvest our content crops. And then we'll get out our knives and do some content chops.
This bit is fucking awful, so now we're gonna content stop.
Oh, okay, heard. It's time to stop!
And we're out.
Yeah, well, in international news, besides, we already had some international news, but the statue of Melania Trump got just taken away in Slovenia, in her hometown.
Taken away.
Yeah, let me explain a little bit more. There used to be some other statue there, and then in 2020 they made a marble statue of Melania. And recently that statue has been sawed off at the ankles and taken by someone.
They left the best part there. They ain't gonna walk away with the feet. Come on, man.
This is some classic Doug Bennett.
This is some amateur shit.
Anyway, so they took away the statue, and they interviewed like a local about it. The local was like, "Yeah, I don't think we didn't really care. We weren't really proud of it. I don't think Melania really cares either." Like, so I just thought that was funny that like the statue's gone, but no one seems to really care that much.
Yeah, why?
Just it's the statue of the first lady in a different country. I mean, I get it's where she's from, but like it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've kind of progressed as a race of human beings past the need for statues.
It seems that way.
You know?
After everything that's happened, it seems that way.
Nobody is ever going to be able to agree on a new one, I think, at this point. And, you know? I think we need to leave up as many of the ones that already exist as possible. So no more new ones. Let's go ahead and keep the old ones. But yeah, there's like really only a few out there that are even really, really worth keeping. There's like, and I'm talking about the biggest fucking ones, right? Like there's a couple in Asia that are really big and dope. Obviously, Christ the Redeemer in Rio, that one, you got to keep that. Statue of Liberty, probably got to keep that too.
I would imagine so.
But you know, it's like no more statues.
You don't need to make any more. But like, here's the thing. I think maybe you could make more, just not of people. Maybe you start doing flowers or whatever else.
Well, that's
you know?
barely a statue at that point. That's more of a sculpture.
Sculpture. Perfect word. Just like how in in Italy they have the David somewhere. We keep that for sure.
Fuck yeah, it's amateur move. I'm still stuck on cut it off at the ankles. Take the whole thing. Take the whole thing, brother.
Yeah. Why'd you stop there?
Come on. Anyway.
It's probably harder to get the feet though.
Yeah, who knows how it was installed.
Yeah.
It might be time, bro.
Yeah. I'm ready if you are.
Get us out of here, man. Party shot.
Okay. Well, my fellows, my fellow YRs out there in the community.
Which you're not, or you're a YL.
Check out the Twitch. It's twitch.tv/Seth_Nacho411. This week, just streaming on Monday because I got my stuff and I'm got some stuff going on Tuesday. So we're gonna do a long stream on Monday. Cool part though is 2v8's back out, which is a cool mode in the game. So I'll be playing that. Come check it out.
Yeah.
And then as for a shot, I guess take care of yourself. Mental health, pretty important. And it's something that you can just do without any medication. Just, your outlook, the way you perceive things, emotional distancing. Like try to rein in on some of these things that you feel and try to and know that that's like your own personal bias that you're seeing. It's not how the thing in the world actually is all the time. Sometimes you put your own projection, right? Like sometimes you put your own stuff onto things. Just try to see things for as they are and try to have a better outlook, and if you do, it sometimes helps what you're feeling. You'll start to see things as better than they are because your outlook is that way. That's my shot.
Well, hell yeah. Over here, you already know, it's your boy, Doug B. You know where to find me. If you don't, that's your problem, man. It's one of my brother's keeper. Famous last words.
Hold my beer.
Famous last words, Kane. All right. As far as a parting shot goes, this is a little more conceptual of one, but take some time to notice and appreciate where your frame is off and how much it diverges from sort of baseline. For me, a moment like that was today. There's daily games out there you can play, like Wordle or whatever. I like a game called Bracket City. And it gives you this hint of what a word is, and you have to type in a new word, and it all collapses in to make an actual headline. But one of the prompts it asked me for was the B in D-O-B. And I'm like, obviously, the word's bastard, dirty old bastard, Wu-Tang, of course, obviously. And it took me more time than I care to admit to be like, oh, D-O-B is the abbreviation for date of birth.
Date of birth, yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's fucking really funny, man, because it's not like I'm wrong, but like, how far off a base was my assumption? Pretty far off.
You went straight to Wu-Tang.
So, there's a beauty to that brought me joy, and I'm sure I could find other examples, but I'm tasking you to find examples for yourself, because those can be nice little moments to treasure and bring you joy. So, if you do that, I would recommend it, but you gotta do still, never stops, you must always do this. Carry water, chop wood, and most importantly,
Xiaohongshu.
Ain't got no ball and chain, they cover all the wars. The boys are back in town, and you know what that means. Single ladies, dollar drinks, forget with a hell of a deal. Four guys with sex appeal are hidden late one day at Myrtle Beach. Want to come on down to a top 12 rated town, Myrtle Beach. Cause there's a Ferris wheel and a margarita fish.